momentous events took place in the Parliament of Trinidad and Tobago. At the time, I remember the acting president contacting me and telling me that those who had been released from the Red House on the Saturday morning were trying to contact me because they wanted to form a government of national unity. It was immediately that the PNM put out a release saying that we wish to be no part of any government that came together by means that were undemocratic. We reaffirm the PNM's commitment to democracy and our determination, my dear friends, to support only democratic movements in this country or in other parts of the world. 1 year ago, on the morning of Saturday, July the 26th, when the Minister of Local Government and myself were on the way to our gym, at that time we went to the gym at 3:30 in the morning on a Saturday morning. You will remember that a marked police vehicle, you remember it, sought to peel off the final vehicle in our detail. We had one unmarked car in which we were traveling, and there were two jeeps behind us, so everybody knew that was the Prime Minister's detail, and a marked police vehicle came and made an attempt to peel off the final jeep in our detail. And when the jeep refused to be peeled off, it was commanded by police officers from the MOPS unit. When the jeep refused to be peeled off and to be separated from the rest of the detail, all kinds of scuffles ensued, which caused us to abort our mission that morning and to return home, and to do so very quickly. My dear friends, what has not been said on this matter is this. We're in school today, not so? We're talking truth. We are here in the College of Arima Promenade. What has not been said before is that 2 days before that, someone walked into the office of the Minister of Local Government and told her that a certain organization in this country was about to make an attempt to assassinate the Prime Minister. That is what the Prime Minister knew that morning. Fortunately for us, my dear friends, we did not report it at the time. Had it been reported, I assure you, there would have been bloodshed that morning, and certain people would have been killed. There's no question about it. I thank Almighty God that we did not report that. But of course, I just want to send a signal to all those who may be so minded that the Prime Minister has confidence in his security detail, who have put their lives on the line year after year to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago remains a democratic and progressive society. We subscribe, my dear friends, to the ballot, not to the bullet. And we will see to it that with all the resources available to us, we'll use those resources to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago remains as peace-loving a country as possible. We admit that we're experiencing unprecedented levels of crime in the country at this time. But we want to reassure you this evening that the government will continue to take every step that is available to us to ensure that the people of Trinidad and Tobago enjoy levels of security consistent with your own aspirations. Make one final point. My dear friends, I do not live in fear. I fear no man. I fear no man. I am a child of God. I fear no man, whether it is Ram, Jack, or G. Fear none. My dear friends, it is also significant that tonight, as we participate in this lecture here at the College of Arima Promenade, that we are doing so on the eve of the celebration of Emancipation Day, which will be celebrated in a few days' time all over Trinidad and Tobago. In 1985, I was pleased to be a member of the cabinet of this country under the leadership of George Michael Chambers that took the decision to make Emancipation Day a national holiday. There is no doubt about it. It is to the African community, the Afro-Trinidadians, the Afro-citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, to whom Emancipation Day has the greatest significance. Because it was in the year 1834 that emancipation of the slaves was announced. It should have taken place 6 years later in 1840, but in fact took place 2 years earlier than that in 1838. And therefore, when we talk about Emancipation Day, there is no doubt about it that the segment of the society to which it holds the greatest significance is the Afro-citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But the government of George Michael Chambers, in its wisdom, was very careful not to name it African Emancipation Day. You know why? We didn't do it that way because we recognized that Trinidad and Tobago is not a homogeneous society. It is not a society of one race of people. It is a society of people of different races. It is a society of people of different classes. It is a society of people of different religious persuasions. We are not homogeneous. We are very diverse. And therefore we know, my dear friends, not only from our own experience in a small way, but from the experiences of other countries all around the world, that wherever differences exist among a people, those differences conspire to divide rather than to unite. And if you wish to be a responsible government, as we sought to be at that time and now, it was our responsibility not to name the holiday in such a way that it could be a source of irritation to other races, but to do it in such a way which, while you recognize the importance of it to the African community in Trinidad and Tobago, you do it in such a way that no race of people feel excluded from the holiday that was made available for all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And therefore, when we talk about Emancipation Day, today we're not referring only to Africans, you know, my dear friends. We're not referring only to Africans. We refer to all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, where we are saying to you, whether you be African, whether you be of East Indian origin, whether you be of Chinese, Syrian, Lebanese, or white stock of this country, we are all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And that there are thoughts, there are attitudes, there are approaches from which all of us need to be emancipated. And therefore, we put it in such a way where everybody could feel included in the celebration of the national holiday. An inclusive approach to governance, rather than an approach that can set brother against brother. And that is why, my dear friends, when in 1995, we sought to give recognition to the fact that the first East Indians in Trinidad and Tobago arrived on a particular day in 1845, I think it was the 30th of May in 1845, we decided that we will name the day Arrival Day rather than Indian Arrival Day. We decided to name it Arrival Day because while we wanted to give recognition to the significant contribution that our East Indians, brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago have made to the development of this country by their arrival on that day for the first time, the government also recognized that everybody else arrived, quite apart from the Arawaks and the Caribs, whom you have some here in Arima. Everybody else arrived. They were the indigenous peoples. We either came from Europe, We either came from Syria or Lebanon, we either came from China, or we came from different parts of Africa, or we came from India, my dear friends. All of us